It's your gig, Peter.
Me?
Do get on with it. Come on, it's your gig.
Well, I was supposed to be last.
And more so, he's prepared. Look, it must be your gig.
Well, thank you very much for having us all here. And knowing the illustrious persons that have been in this chamber previously, I certainly think I'm almost a fraud. I left school at 16 with Scripture GCSE and been working for a living ever since, so my academic qualifications are not up to yours. Nevertheless, we've been asked to say a little bit about what we've learned in our various careers as to what we think has contributed to our success. Obviously, the fact that we think we've been successful is a very personal judgment. Others may not agree that we've been successful, but to the extent that we feel we've achieved and contributed in life so far, I've been asked to try to mention some of the things that I think have led me to do reasonably well. And I think I would start by saying that the most important thing of all is that I've learned that you learn from your mistakes. So from the age of 16, I'm almost 70 now, I've continued to make mistakes every year, every month, and I've learned from those mistakes. And I try never to make the same mistake twice, but certainly the best education I've had is from my mistakes. Those things I've got right and done successfully take care of themselves and produce fruitful results. But certainly the mistakes have been my biggest teacher. And as a result of that, what I've really learned is that when I say no is more important than when I say yes. It's much easier to say yes. It's much harder sometimes to say no. If you say yes and it's the wrong yes, you may never get a chance again. If you say no, there is always another chance. You haven't blotted your copybook, you haven't done something disgraceful, you haven't gone bankrupt, you haven't done something terrible, so there's always another chance. So I think in life generally, and certainly in business, if I look back, the times I've said no have really been more important and valuable than the times
I've said yes. People say that you need luck. You do. Luck is sort of a 50-50 thing. Half of your luck you make yourself. You make sure that you're in the right place at the right time. You read the right publications. You talk and discuss with the right people. You listen to the right advice. You're proactive. You are trying to give yourself an opportunity. You're trying to find a positive, constructive angle to something, and you're deliberately working on it. And that will bring you good luck, definitely. Some luck is just by chance. It's accidental. You just are fortuitous. You're in the right place at the right time. And I think all of us, if we look back on our careers, would say that we have had some good luck that really didn't have a lot to do with us. And that probably accounts for half of your luck. And the other half of your luck you create yourself. And certainly we get our fair share of bad luck, and one has to face up to that and handle it and mitigate the circumstances that are against you and just deal with it. But I think one goes through business, which is what we're really talking about this evening, continuously thinking about the element of luck. What can we do about it, and how can we capitalize on the good luck we have? So that's an important aspect. I think it goes without saying, and I'm sure everybody would say this, and you've heard it 1,000 times, there are those lucky people who just don't seem to have to work very hard, and whatever it is, they just become successful by circumstance or good fortune, whatever might happen. But for the vast majority of people, if you want to be successful in business, you have to work hard. You have to work very hard. You have to try your best continuously, and you have to make sure that you're very focused, you're very productive, you're very structured, you plan what you're going to do, and you have the conviction of your beliefs, and you carry them through, and it's hard work. And often there are doubting Thomases, people who will challenge you and question you, people you love and respect and trust. But if you're in business, you have to believe in the fundamentals that have got you to wherever you've got to in your career, and you have to stick to your guns and you have to go forward. However, despite all that hard work, if you realize you've made a mistake, you have to put your hand up quickly, not just to yourself, but to everybody else. And say, you know what, I have to do a U-turn here. I got this wrong. It was a wrong decision, it was a bad investment. Let's cut our losses, let's try to mitigate the disaster, and let's move forward. So you have to be bold, you have to have courage, you have to be able to admit, accept your defeats, and move forward still in a very positive, aggressive way. Obviously, I'm talking from the perspective of an entrepreneur, somebody who has no fixed business, no dedicated career particularly in mind, but is taking advantage of the opportunities as they come. Having said that, I think there are two vital things when you're in business. One is to be honest. If you're not honest, you'll get caught out. Eventually, you'll get caught out. Eventually, it will be your downfall. You've got to be honest. If you start in business at 20, you better be honest till you're 80, 90, whenever you stop being in business. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with everybody else you do business with. Put your hands on the table, be transparent, be straightforward. You've got to be honest. And you'll make mistakes and things go wrong. There's nobody who's successful in business can honestly look in the mirror and say, I haven't had failures, I haven't had disasters, I haven't lost money. It's just not true. They're lying. So you've got to be honest. People respect you for that. People respect you for your successes, but they also respect you for being honest with your failures. And in doing business, perhaps one of the most important things that I have learned is always be fair. Always be fair. Never be greedy. Leave a squeeze in the lemon for the next person. Don't maximize your profit. Just don't do it. Don't try to get in at the bottom and get out at the top. It's called being greedy. And greedy people aren't usually happy people. And if you're not a happy person, you probably aren't really successful in business. Because making money, lots of money, is not the measure of the real success. Yes, it's a measure. And people do judge it these days very severely about net worth and how much he's worth and how much he's made. But actually, being successful in business is just part of life. And if you're not successful in life as a whole, you're not really successful in business. You may have made a lot of money. You may have lost your wife. You may have alienated your children. You may have pissed off your friends. All kinds of things happen if you're too focused on the business of making money. It should not be the only priority in your life. People whose only priority, in my experience, who only focused on making money and being more powerful and more successful in business are not necessarily successful in the broader definition of life. Being happy, having friends, having a family you can enjoy, pursuing hobbies and interests and other things are also important. So the intensity of doing business is necessary and relevant a lot of the time, but it mustn't be all the time. It must be some of the time. Perhaps the last thing I would just say is, we all go up the ladder and we all come down the ladder. And we do it several times in life, or most people do. We have our ups and we have our downs, and we're kings and we're nobodies, and then we're back to being kings, and we're winners and we're losers. And that's really true for most people in business. And whether it's our fault or somebody else's fault, we receive criticism, we are not in favor, all kinds of things happen. And the most important thing of all that I have learned in business, and if I could leave you with one vital message, you need friends. If you want to succeed in business, you need friends. You make friends on the way up and on the way down. And those friends you meet and make on the way up will be the ones who help you when you're on the way down, and will help you back up again. So whether it's the concierge, whether it's the janitor in the loo, whoever it might be, from the lowest level to the highest level, you must try to make them your friend, because all of them, in your career in business at some point or other will play a role. They'll put a word in here, they'll have a little influence there, they'll give you confidence, they'll do a million things for you that help you in your business endeavors if they're your friend. So always treat the people on the way up with the same courtesy, the same respect, the same friendship that you would like them to extend to you when you're on the ladder down before you go up again. Thank you very much.